Hi everyone, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel. So my channel is all about metaphysics, healing yourself from the inside out. I do a lot of work with metaphysics. I've also been certified in a lot of different metaphysics areas. Um, Basically, the things I'm certified in is the things that actually helped me when I was going to trying to find who I am and do a lot of self-love that I was lacking. So tonight, my feature deck of cards it's just one, and it's a tarot deck. But there's um, a lot of meaning with this deck to me personally. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Psychic Fair in Sharonville, Ohio, but this is, I went there a few years ago, and probably like 6 years now. Time just flies. But I went there for my very first reading ever. I had no clue who I was going to get a reading from. Basically, I just went with what felt right, and I met a lady there, and she did amazing reading. She used the Zen Tarot. I'm just going to show you the book. Okay. This is actually the book she used for my reading. But I did not know that the reading was dead on. I gave her nothing. I asked no specific questions. I just basically just said, just give me a general reading. And she put some stuff in my past that she brought forward. And then she used the Celtic cross layout, which is the most common. And then she also told me what was in my future. And these cards stuck with me. She allowed me to take pictures of it. So I was never not a believer in tarot decks. I was always open, but not too sure of the right people to go to versus the ones that are not maybe being true to themselves. So, funny story on this. So basically, once I did my reading, there was a lightning bolt in my future, like my immediate future. And if anyone's seen lightning bolt, know what that is. It's basically like the tower. There's something, but in this deck, it's a minor card. And let me show you what it looks like. So it's a minor card, so it's not as much as the tower. Bear with me here. Oh, I'm sorry. It is actually it is a tower deck. Okay. It's a major card, sorry. I didn't think it was. Here it is. Yeah, it is actually a major card. My bad. So this was my very first future right here, a thunderbolt. And I'm like, oh no. This is a very intense card. But it followed by so many rainbow cards. Now, this is the rainbow cards that I'm talking about. See how it's got rainbow? So he uses Queen, King, Page. That's the King, which is abundance, but they're very colorful. That's the Knight, and then the Queen. And then, of course, you have your one, which he doesn't say ace. He just leaves it blank at the bottom. And then he puts the two. Let me zoom in. But yeah, very colorful. And that's one thing the lady said about my readings is I had so many colorful cards, rainbow cards in my reading. So basically, my immediate future was Thunderbolt, but then every other card past that, the next one was aloneness. And it was interesting because she described that as not being alone, but choosing aloneness, which is completely different than feeling like you're alone. And she went on to tell me that this was something that I would choose And she was dead on too, because I did choose to be by myself and to really get to know me. So the last two, it ended with patience, and then it was abundance, then patience, which abundance is the king of rainbow. So what rainbow represents in this card deck is our material world. That's what he uses. He's using rainbow to present, because this is a tarot deck. So tarot decks, 78 cards. You have to have the 4 suits, right? So he's got the rainbow suit that he is considering this to be the physical world. Then he has the mind, which he made gray, which kind of makes sense. The mind's like in the clouds, so it's like you're in your head. And it's just so beautiful. If you could see some of these cards, look at that. Isolation. They're just amazing. And then, of course, he's got fire action that he chose red. And every card has like red in it. And I found that very cool. And I instantly in tune to this deck of cards. Like instantly. I loved it. And then, of course, blue will represent your emotions. And I already talked to you about the 4 quartz cards. He's using King, Queen, Page, and Knight. And then he's just using arrows to show you which one means what. So using this. Now, if you read the box, it says 79 cards instead of 78. So the one thing that he put in here was called the Master, and that's actually him. That is a photo of him. I have quite a few of his books as well. But he actually added this, and the Master isn't what a lot of people think it is, where basically you're thinking, oh, you got to be the master of a certain thing, or like a master of any type of physics, metaphysics. Like I got to be a master at tarot card reading. That's not what he's talking about. Masters is, he describes it as not telling you what to do, just allowing and respecting others. It's kind of mastering your true self, kind of. So I thought that was really neat that he added his own picture and called it the Master in his deck of cards, his tarot deck called Zen Tarot. And then, of course, he has 1 through 22, which is the major cards here. And they have cool backgrounds and everything. All right, so back to my story. Ever since that reading, the Thunderbolt happened, I would say probably within a month and a half of that reading. It was really quick, and she told me, don't worry, because it's something you have to do this. This has to happen because you're going to be better off. Now, when you see a Thunderbolt and you're looking at the card and you're like, oh, this is my immediate future, that's not going to be good. But actually, she described it, and I knew looking at this card, once my initial fear went away, I realized that it is something that I have to go through to find me. And it happened, like I said, within a month and a half, maybe 2 months after my reading with her. And then after that, I remember feeling the abundance and feeling very grown as a person and feeling very like working towards being just patient and in the world. And I'll show you the patient card, because that is actually the end card that I had. And it's such a beautiful card. That was my end reading. Number 7, patience. So ever since my reading, I wanted so badly to know what that deck was called, and all I had was just the pictures of my actual reading, which I still have. And I searched and searched, but there's so many decks out there. If you don't know what it's called or remotely what it's about, you're not going to be able to find that. So I kind of gave up finding it. And I just knew, like, if it was meant to be, then the deck will find me. So I went to Half Price Books, of course. If you guys don't know me yet, Half Price Books is one of my favorite stores. And I instantly went because I love to check out their tarot decks and their oracle decks, see what they got. Because you can find some really rare ones, and or you can find some that aren't rare, but they're decent priced, below, selling price. So Half Price Books. So what happened was, I would say probably about a year after my reading from this lady, I went there and I instantly saw this box here. And let me show it. I'll zoom in too. There it is. So I instantly showed this box, and I was just drawn to the side of this box. And I picked it up, and I was like, oh, wow, the energy from these cards, and this is the back side, by the way. The energy of these cards are amazing. So I couldn't put it down. So I purchased it. And then it's so funny because I took it home and I opened it, and I was like, wow. And then I started flipping through and then realized, wait a minute, is this the deck of cards that I had my very first reading? And it was. So abundance is out there, everyone. If you truly believe that you can have it, it will come to you. But remember, it's in divine timing. So tonight I'm going to do a reading with the Zen Tarot. I used to do readings with these cards a lot, because I was just so in tune to them. I could just instantly get so much from the cards. So that's my little story on my very first card reading. So again, as always, if this is your very first time in tuning to my channel, my name is Kelly. I'm all about metaphysics. I'm all about learning the true you and finding yourself, and being able to be a teacher to anyone who's ready. So if you notice behind me there, I have my dragon going with bloodstone incense. And then also I have a candle that you cannot see, but you might be able to see it through this tower here. So I have two things going. And what I always say is, before you want to do a card reading, you kind of want to get very open-minded. That way you can get what's coming and feel confident in yourself as you're doing your readings. Okay, so I'm going to just play this little, I always like to play something to clear my mind so you can listen to it. And I love that sound. It just instantly goes into my mind and just clears the day of normal human stuff, where I can get more connected to oneness. And now the greatest thing about going live. What question am I going to ask for the audience that will be watching this video whenever you're going to attune to it? Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Well, it's so funny. Sometimes if you can't think of a question, the cards will give you, just by shuffling them, they're going to give you whatever is meant for your highest good. Sorry, let me have a drink of water. Allergies. Oh, so I got 6 of the mind. the burden. Now, if you notice this card, this poor guy has a actual other guy on his back with a hen or some kind of chicken, and he's pointing him in the direction. 6 of burden. So this is in your mind, right? So I didn't ask the cards for any question. It just literally, I was shuffling and it came out. So I guess for your highest good is what I would say. You need to know that the burden that you're thinking of, you're controlling it with your mind. You can always choose, as this picture shows you, you can always choose to get that guy off your back. Stop carrying everything on your shoulders, the whole world on your shoulders. I used to be that way for a long time. And it's very exhausting, like the poor little guy here. So, how exhausted are you? So just remember, the burden for highest good, it's time to drop all that stuff on your shoulders because it's all just illusion in your head, and it's going to be okay to let go of that burden. See what happens when you let go of it. Maybe you might be surprised. So I'm not actually going to ask this card deck for anything, for any questions. Unless someone hops on and asks us a question, then I, of course, will give you an answer there. But I'm going to just keep shuffling because let's see. So basically, the question is going to be, what do you need to know or do for your highest good? You see how that is? But there's 2. All right, what do we got? Oh, this is a major card, aloneness. This was actually in my reading like forever ago. Aloneness does not mean loneliness. That's 2 different words. He's seeking out a new path. He's on a different path where perhaps he feels there's no light. But yet he's got light. He's going towards the light. But again, you're choosing a loneliness, a loneness for whatever reason. So, because this is a major card, that means that the burden, what's in your mind, is playing off the aloneness. So then I instantly going to ask you, what is in your life that you feel that you cannot be into aloneness because it's too much of a burden? Maybe perhaps you feel that you are the rock and there's no way that you can just give up all your responsibilities for yourself because that's just selfishness. Maybe you are afraid to go down the unknown road, and therefore you're just causing a lot of burdens around you on your shoulders. That way you never move. You will remain stuck. So this was a 2-card reading though, and guess what came? The Lovers. This again is a major card. So a loneliness followed by the Lovers. But I also got to remember that the burden came first. The Lovers is it's after aloneness. So what's that saying? That is saying, as of right now, you have to choose aloneness. If you're wanting a lover, in whatever way that is, that could not just mean a sexual lover. That could mean a lot of different things. Lovers can mean a lot of different things. Perhaps the lover to you is just someone who sees you for you. Doesn't have to be romantic. A lot of people just like to use lovers and just automatically assume it's romance. Now, even looking at this card, you were like, well, there's even a heart on that one. That seems pretty romantic. And if that's vibes with you, then that means for you, yes, it is. But you have to remember, aloneness. You have to be alone to work out all these burdens that you have in your mind before the lover gets to you. And that's the strong message right there. So, the lover is in your future, just like aloneness is in your future. The burden is the now and the past. So this actually ended up being a 3-card pull. Like I said, the greatest thing is I don't know how many cards are going to be pulled, and I know nothing going in. It really works on the intuition, your intuition, to just come on and go, I have no clue what I'm going to talk about, what cards are going to be pulled. I'm just going to go with my intuition and just say what comes. And that's everything that came. It's only 3 cards. So again, you are having a lot of burdens. That's all in your mind. It's not actually real. You have to go into aloneness pretty soon here before you can find a lover. Now, aloneness does feel like it's coming up really soon for you. It feels like you are definitely ready and you are willing to give up your burdens. You've actually reached a mind point where you are realizing that this is just illusion to keep you stuck. Some people would call it ego. Your ego's just telling you all these lies. And then a loneliness, you are very scared of it because a lot of people seem to be scared of aloneness. Now, with me personally, that came to my mind as well. I was never alone. I always lived, I went from my mom to my roommate, which was my best friend, and then to my ex-husband. So I never lived alone. So that was really scary. What do I do being alone? Would I be bored? Do I always need someone? And then to find out that I don't. I actually enjoyed the solitude. I enjoyed not having any time or not having to, tell someone where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do. It was very eye opening for me. Very. And very healing. And also a lot of eye opening experiences in my life because after the divorce and I started my own journey, it had a lot of bumpy roads, a lot of bumps in the road. So, the lovers. I would say that I'm getting that's probably within this coming year for you. Like I said, you're going to choose aloneness, and then that's going to lead you to the lovers. And that's all I'm going to do on this deck. This deck is no longer being printed. So if you do find it, as I actually found a second copy because my first copy got rained on really bad. I still have it, but they're kind of warped. I got rained a really bad storm a few years ago, I think 2 years ago. And they were in my book bag and they got soaked. And then they got stuck together. So it was really nice that I had to come on and talk about this deck because I literally went to Half Price Books today and they actually had a copy of this Zen Tarot that is no longer in print for a very reasonable price. So I was really excited to get a deck that the cards are very readable and very good condition compared to my ones that got water damage. But I still have them, and I will keep them because they were they mean a lot to me. So thank you for watching. As always, if you're wanting to book an appointment to do a reading with me, you can always reach out through my email, which is musardk05@gmail.com. I do different types of readings. I can also give you pricing depending on what type of reading you want, and so forth. So I do a lot of metaphysics, not just tarot card readings. So if you feel very guided to work with me, I would love to work with you. And also, I just want to put it out there that I have came in contact with a lot of fluoride crystals, really nice big pieces that I will actually be selling. I just got them all cleaned up and washed, and they look very nice. So I will be putting those on probably a YouTube video, and whoever purchased them. Um, so stay tuned to that. I'll give you more of an update of when I'm going to do that. And that way you can get really beautiful fluoride pieces for a really good deal. Thank you. Bye.